Hey everybody, this is Captain Geek here for you for another Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated episode review. This is going to be season 2, episode 8, titled Night on Haunted Mountain. So let's get into it. So the episode starts off with Gary and Ethan, those two dudes from it's kind of funny because they said Fred was on like the soccer team like one random episode, but I don't remember him ever mentioning that or even showing it. But it's those two dudes on the soccer team. They're climbing up this random mountain for like no reason with the team's lucky soccer ball. While they're climbing it, we get this new character or new monster called Dark Lilith. She starts to attack them, and eventually they fall down the mountain. They don't like fall down like off a cliff, but they were pretty high up, so they're like sliding and bouncing down the mountain. And they also lose the team's soccer ball. And she speaks in rhyme, basically telling everybody to stay away with their wicked eyes because this wicked mountain is all mine. Nice rhymes. There's a better shot of her later on, but she's basically telling everybody to stay away. She looks like I'm gonna show it, but she looks like a harpy vampire type monster. And then after that, we get the theme song. After the theme song, we cut over to the hospital where Gary and Ethan are in because they just fell down a mountain in full body cast. They can't move. Now, Fred, he's there because he wants to make sure everybody's okay. Like, he's concerned for them. But Velma and everybody else there because, well, it sounds like a mystery. They don't really care about them. Fred, he does care about them, but they don't care about Fred. Like, they tell Fred, we're not friends. Well, Gary and Ethan and everybody else, they tell Fred, hey, we're not friends. We don't really like you, Fred. And Fred, he's like, you guys are such jokesters. Aren't they jokesters, guys? And he hugs them. And obviously, they're in full body cast. So he hugs them. You hear the bones cracking. Fred, get over me. He's like, oh, my bad. Okay, let's solve this mystery and go find a team of lucky soccer ball. So they go on the road and they're getting towards Scorpion Wells. That's like this little town that's next to the mountain that they were climbing on. So while they're driving there, the whole gang is telling them how bad Ethan and Gary is, and Velma's just there to solve the mystery. She doesn't really care about Ethan or Gary either, and she really hopes there's a mystery here with them falling. Well, she really hopes there's a mystery here with them falling down the mountain because he doesn't really want to go to a place called Scorpion Wells. They get there and there's like nobody here. And it's not really a town. It's really just a bunch of trailers parked next to each other in a circle. And like I said, there's like nobody there. Eventually, a bunch of people start to come out the woodwork and they're wearing buckets on their head, masks wrapped around in bandages. Eventually, they do take them off, and everybody here they look a bit off. Like they have a bunch of bumps over their faces, really long nose, really jagged teeth. They look kind of off. Everybody looks really off. The leader of this town is called Granny Snaggletooth, and she's introducing everybody. And there's like this running gag with this guy called Ugly Jimmy. But the gag is that everybody here is really ugly and deformed except for him. He's like the really only normal looking guy here. They call him ugly because they're ugly, and him looking normal is ugly. And he even believes it. Like Daphne, she sees him. She's like, "Oh wow, hubba hubba! Like you look really good." I believe Fred gets mad about that, and he goes, "Don't look at me. I'm from the form." She's like, "What? You know, what are you talking about?" There's this other lady that never takes her helmet off, so we don't really truly know what she looks like. But I'm assuming she looks kind of off because of everybody else. But this is what Ugly Jimmy looks like. Obviously, it doesn't look that bad. This is the other lady I was talking about. She has the bucket on her head, but she never takes it off throughout the episode, so we don't really know what she looks like. So that was kind of funny. Um, Wait, did I say the main lady's name? The main lady that's like running the whole place is called Granny Snaggletooth. I think I said it already. It's the old lady with barely any teeth, and she has a crush on the Shaggy. Obviously, Shaggy is like, no, she doesn't really like Granny Snaggletooth, but Granny Snaggletooth really likes Shaggy. This is what Granny Snaggletooth looks like. I mean, she doesn't look as deformed as like some of the other people in town, but yeah, she's still a little off. She's still a little off most than normal. Anyway, Velma, she asked about the mountain, but why is it haunted, and why did our two classmates fall off it out of nowhere? Granny Snaggletooth gets really, really mad when when Granny Snaggletooth brings up the mountain. I mean, no, Granny Snaggletooth gets really mad at Velma when she brings up the mountain. She goes, "Look, tonight we're gonna have a local barbecue, so why don't you guys stay here and I'll tell you all about the mountain and a mountain called Mount Diablo." I think that's I'm saying that right. I'm looking at the subtitles. Mount Diablo. That's the mountain's name. Mm. Excuse me. Just want to make sure I get the mountain name right. Yeah, Mountain Diablo. So they're gonna stay the night to well celebrate with the bonfire and learn more about Mount Diablo. We cut to later that night and they're having a huge bonfire going on. Everybody's dancing and singing, eating really nasty food. And then eventually Velma asks again, "What's the deal with Mount Diablo?" Ugly Jimmy and her basically both said that the mountain is cursed and is ruled by Dark Lilith. Don't go anywhere near that mountain because you will get hurt by her and the curse. So Granny Snaggletooth runs off to go find some more food to eat with a shotgun. She's better go kill some animals. But then, out of nowhere, Dark Lilith comes in and she's pretty strong. She's like busting up a bunch of lamp posts. She's like running through a bunch of trailers and going through them like butter. 'Cause, trailers, they're really huge and thick metal. She's flying through them like nothing, like butter, and busting holes up in them, just terrorizing the whole place. Eventually, she jumps into the bonfire and she basically tells everybody that, do not go on my mountain or I will end you. Basically, she told everybody to not go there. But it's kind of cool because this is what she looks like. Once he jumps into the fire and he starts to fly out of it, I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool. I kind of liked it. That was kind of dope the way she did that. Anyway, after that, she makes some. Well, she destroys a few more things, and then she flies away. So after that, Granny Snaggletooth, she comes back and tells Scooby and the gang to get the heck out of here. I mean, yeah, she terrorized them every now and again, but she never did all this, like breaking houses, knocking over the water tower. She never did all this until you guys came here asking about Mount Diablo. I don't want this happening again, so get out of here. So they start to walk away, and then Granny Snaggletooth grabs Shaggy. She goes, "Hey, Shaggy, I mean, if you want to, sneak back into my tent, I ain't got a problem with that." He goes, I think I'm good. You can stay over there. I think I'm good. I'll just stay over here in my lane. And so they all hop into the mystery machine and drive away. While they're driving away, they're trying to think like, okay, what are we gonna do about Dark Lilith, and why doesn't she want us on that mountain? And then we hear a voice off to the side saying, "I can help," and it's Ugly Jimmy. I'm like, how did you not see him? Especially Scooby and Shaggy. Those two are in the back of the mystery machine. And in the back of the mystery machine, it's like this huge open space. Now you could say like, as soon as they got into the car, they were just like on the seats, like looking forward, talking to everybody. Okay. But the whole time they didn't want us to turn around or anything. But anyway, Ugly Jimmy, he's in the car and he wants to help Scooby and the gang. So he's gonna um help them navigate through Mount Diablo. They're like, "Why are you helping us?" He's like, "Well, obviously he's tired of Dark Lilith terrorizing his town and his people. He's just sick of it because it's been going on for he doesn't give like a time frame for like weeks to months, but it's been happening for a while. And obviously, after this happened today with her like messing up everything, he's sick of her. So he wants to get out of here. So he wants to help. He wants to help his new friends to get her the heck out of here. And he also says, "Well, because also I'm so ugly, I need." So probably Daphne is trying to tell him he's not ugly, but Fred keeps stopping her, which is really funny. She goes, "Look, Jimmy, the whole ugly thing. I gotta tell you," Fred goes, "Hey, we accept you for who you are. Let's go in the mountain." Which is kind of funny. Anyway, after that, we cut to them on the mountain walking around for a while. While they're walking around, out of nowhere, the ground just breaks apart and they fall into this underground cave. When they get in the underground cave, this random lady attacks them, and this lady is called, well, she calls herself Balron because she's a Balron miner, but she seems to forget a lot. And she seems to be a little crazy too, because she says that she wants to keep everybody away from her husband. And when the camera pans out, her husband is a lucky soccer ball on top of some rocks with face painted on it. So yeah, I guess I'm assuming she's been trapped down here for a while. And she went a little crazy. She keeps forgetting stuff a lot. Like she doesn't even really remember her own name. Well, you can't really see it too well, but it's a better shot of her later on where it's more brighter. So I think you can see her more. Actually, I think I know what's going on. It's this. It's so close. That's what happens sometimes. It gets so close to me. It makes everything super bright. Maybe now you can see it a lot better. Okay, yeah, yeah, there you go. Now you can see her a lot better. I moved the lamp a bit to the side. Okay, that's what happens sometimes. Like the lamp is kind of wobbly and it leans over to the side too much and it makes me really bright and make the TV really bright. So sometimes that sucks. So I just moved it to the side so you can saw her really well. Anyway, I guess she's a little crazy. There was this one funny moment to where as soon as Fred sees the soccer ball, so he tells everybody like, "No, you can't take him. He's my husband. He loves me. He's the only one that understands me." Daphne's like, "Okay, okay, calm down. Nobody's gonna take anything." And you see Fred and her like fighting over the soccer ball, like tussling. He's like, "Fred, huh? Oh, my bad." Like he just stops tussling over the soccer ball. Anyway, see, menacing is that the evil one, Dark Lilith, she lives in his boat. And they're like, well, whose boat? Who are you talking about? And Dark Lilith, she comes into the cave. Now, she says, since you didn't heed my warning, all of you are going to die now. So they're in an underground, like mining railroad track thing. And there's a bunch of wooden pillars on the roof and on the side that keep this whole place from collapsing. Since they didn't heed her warning, Dark Lilith starts to like punch and rip off a bunch of the support beams, and the whole place starts coming down. So they gotta run. Like they start to book it, boy. They gotta run out of there before they crush to death. Eventually, they're all able to run out of there just in a nick of time. But then she tries to fly over to Scooby and Shaggy to throw them off the cliff. Now, Ugly Jimmy, he jumps up and grabs her, so she can't grab Scooby and Shaggy, but she grabs Ugly Jimmy, and throws him off a cliff, and he goes flying, and he hits a bunch of like stones, and then he just disappears. We don't see him anymore. Everybody assuming he's dead. I mean, he just fell off a cliff and hit a bunch of rocks. We're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he's dead. No way. Dark Lilith, she does fly away because when she does turn around, nobody's there because they were hiding behind rocks, and then they came out and was freaking out that Jimmy was dead. So they asked Baron if well, she can show them exactly where this boat is, so Jimmy's sacrifice isn't in vain, and she brings them over to this huge boat that's on a mountain. You're like, how did this gigantic boat get on top of this mountain? Like, what? Just like, they're really concerned. Like, how did this happen? What in the world? And she's not see, Velma specifically says it's a Spanish galleon. That's what she says it is. So they try to ask Baron exactly how the boat got up here, but as soon as they ask her, she disappears. And for the rest of the episode, she doesn't get mentioned or shows up. So I'm guessing she just dipped for no reason. I mean, I'm guessing maybe she's going back to civilization, but I don't know. If she shows up again later on this series, I can't remember if she does or not. It's been a while since I watched Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, so it's 50-50. But yeah, she just disappears. Anyway, they get on the boat and they're looking around for some clues, and eventually Velma finds the captain's log, this huge book. It's in Spanish, but she got honors in Spanish. And well, as soon as he said that, I chuckled so hard because I remember I only took Spanish one time in my life, and it was in middle school. Man, it was so hard to. I only know my name to count to, I think like five or six, and that's about it. I don't know why, but it was so hard to learn Spanish. It was like really hard, man. Like I just couldn't do it. I barely passed. I'm in my mind. I think I only passed because of my second oldest sister. She took the class because she was older than me. Well, not because she was older than me, because she was really good. She knows Spanish, Korean, another language. She knows a few languages. She could speak fluently. And when I told her my name, she was like, "Oh, you're her brother. You're gonna do amazing in here." No, no. It was so hard, man. And when she said, that, I'm like, "Wow, that's impressive." But it is Velma. It is Velma, though. Anyway, she starts to read the captain's log. So the captain's log says that him and his men found a buttload of treasure. They can be rich for the next couple years, and they were putting it on the boat. But then they found out about this crystal sarcophagus filled to the brim with black crystals that could keep them rich for eons. Like they could be kings, all of them. So they wanted to find this. The treasure, I mean, the hunt for this treasure was so not exhausting. What's the word? Anyway, they wanted this treasure really badly that they were searching for it for months. Eventually, they were able to find the crystal sarcophagus and put it on their boat. When they put it on the boat, there was some sort of dark entity inside of it. It twisted their minds and it made them commit horrible atrocities. And I think it's to the same people that helped him. Because when he found out about the crystal sarcophagus, this little boy went up to him and gave him a map, and he saw it. He was like, "Oh, I want this." And then when it said that, it twisted their minds and made them commit atrocities, they're attacking a bunch of people that were dressed up just like that little boy that gave him the map. I guess he came back. Obviously, they felt terrible about what they did, so they need to get rid of it. They went to this island and found this cove, and they went to go bury it deep, deep inside that cove, and they named the cove after what they found. They called it Crystal Cove. And then it cuts back into real time because right now we were in a flashback. And Saki's like, wait a second. Fred goes, yeah, these are the Spanish conquistadors that founded our town and buried it in like the mystery treasures. Like, this is crazy. This is them. That's wild. Anyway, he was able to chart out where they were with the planetary disk. After he did that, he split it into six pieces. Each one of his men took one piece, and he took his piece, put it on the boat that they're on right now, and had a bunch of people carry it up on top of this mountain so it can never be found by anybody else. And they're like, oh, there's a piece of the planet spirit disc right here. But he also says inside the log that he had a bunch of booby traps on the boat just in case someone was able to find it. And they're like, huh, that's pretty bad, obviously. And they do set off a few traps. And Scooby's like, where are we going to find this thing? Fred goes where the traps are. Obviously, he's going to have the most traps where the plant spirit disc is. So wherever the trap is, we just keep finding it. And then we get like a little montage of Fred setting off trap after trap after trap. And eventually they get over to this case with the planet spirit disc. And they open it and it's right there. Dark Lilith comes out of nowhere and grabs it and keep tussling from member to member, grabbing it until eventually Fred has it on top of the boat. Dark Lilith, see, he was able to grab it for a second, and then Velma grabbed a rope, wrapped it around Dark Lilith, and her and Fred are pulling her back. But she's so strong that she was able to pull the boat with her, and now the boat is sliding down the mountain. The boat is sliding down the mountain. And now Scooby and Shaggy, they run over to the wheel and they keep like, bobbing and weaving over, not over, but dodging rocks and stuff that could destroy the boat. But eventually they come down to Scorpion Wells and they bust into this one building with a bunch of propane tanks and they all blow up. And then there's a sign, a middle sign of Scorpion Wells, and they run into that and it splits the whole boat in half. And so Fred, Shaggy, Daphne, and Scooby all jump on the right side to dodge the sign. Velma jumps on the left, and the whole boat just comes crashing down under a bunch of rope. Crazy, crazy scene. And that whole time, they were before they had to jump. Velma and Fred were holding on to Dark Lilith, like pulling her back so she can't get away. And she was like getting slung around and bouncing against rock after rock. Like she was getting messed up. She was getting really, really messed up. So eventually, Velma, she's able to get out of the rubble. And she goes, what is that smell? It smells like hot dog water. She looks over at Dark Lilith that was getting up after getting like ragdolled, and part of her leg is cut up. And you can see hot dog water's like leggings she usually wears. And she takes off her mask and she says, hey Velma, it's me. I kind of not mortified, but I kind of changed up the old Manticore costume that I wore back in the day and made a Dark Lilith costume. She goes, why did you do all this? And oh, you're still working with Mr. E. No wonder you did all this to get the Planet Spirit disc. He goes, yeah, I tricked Gary and Ethan to come up here and hurt them to put them in the hospital because I knew Fred would go see them and want to investigate what happened to him. And I brought him here. I'm not a trap master, so I didn't know how to get around all the traps. So I had to have Fred come here and get all the traps out the way so I can come in here, get the Planet Spirit disc. And I'm like, yo, is she not gonna spaz at her for almost killing them? I mean, remember back during the Manticore episode, she grabbed Scooby and Shaggy, flew up, and dropped them. It didn't kill them. So she grabbed them again, flew even higher to kill them, and nobody said anything about that. And in this episode, they're in that tunnel, and she's ripping off support beams to send this whole place crashing down. There's no way she could have thought that they could have ran out of there quick enough because they weren't that close to the exit. They were pretty far away from the exit. They had to run a good minute to get to the exit. And she had her helium suit on with the wings. Yeah, she could fly right out of there. Them, they're on foot. There's no way she could have known that. I mean, yeah, well, Captain Yi. I mean, if one of them would have lagged behind, she would have grabbed him and threw him. Yo, there was like, cause it was Fred, Ugly Jimmy, Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, and Baron. She's only so strong. She can only care about two. There's no way she could have thought that. She nearly killed him. Mama says nothing about that. You almost killed us in that thing. Are you kidding me? I would have been spazzing. I would have been spazzing. Man, oh man. Mama better than me. Mama's better than me. I would have been going ballistic on her. Anyway, they're looking at each other and Mama like, okay, so how is this gonna end? What are we gonna do with the Planet Spirit disc? She hands it off to Velma. She goes, why? She goes, well, friends help each other out. And Velma, well, you're the only one that I have. So I guess I'll see you around. Almost like, what about Mr. E? You giving me this? He's gonna be mad. He'll hunt you down. You have to catch me first. And she walks off into the sunset. After that, Fred and everybody else are able to get out the rubble, and they're like, "Hey, Velma, where's Dark Lilith? You all right? What's going on?" She goes, "I don't know. I guess she flew away." And here's the scene where yeah, she took off her mask. Jeez, you hit my neck. Kind of a nice scene right there where you see her in the outfit and everything. Obviously, she nearly killed them 2 times, but I mean, hey, we're best friends, so like whatever. Ridiculous. Anyway, after that, they're about to leave, but then we see a familiar face. It's Ugly Jimmy. And apparently, everybody's calling him Handsome Jimmy now. In the fall, made him deform. This is, I mean, I know it's played off as a joke because Daphne almost threw up. Fred is telling him, like, hey, you look great, man. Like, hey, he's like, thanks, man. I know I look great. Everybody's calling me handsome. It's kind of sad though. I mean, he did look pretty normal, and now he has a bunch of these bumps all over his body. He has a hunchback. He needs a cane. His face. I mean, that's kind of jacked up. I mean, obviously he's a gag, but still, in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow. I mean, look at this guy. He's messed up, and everybody's calling him get him away from these people, man. Like Scorpion Wells is wild. Now they're calling him handsome. It's just sad. And he also has the lucky soccer ball, so he gives it to him. Anyway, everybody gets in the mystery machine and they start to drive away. And they realize, like, wait a second. We have 3 pieces now. Pericles has 2. That makes 5. Now there's only 1 piece left. I mean, well, there's only 1 piece left. I wonder who's gonna find it first. And Daphne goes, I don't know. Maybe that piece will find us. They drive off in the distance, and then we cut over to the boat, and we see the captain of the Spanish Conquistador standing there, and he says the word in Spanish, which I don't really know means Nabiru. I don't know what that means, but he says that, and he starts laughing. And when he starts laughing, he goes from looking regular to looking like a skeleton ghost. Then eventually, the skeleton ghost not transforming, it disappears. It disappears into mist, and then that's the end of the episode. Pretty good episode. Really cool that we found out about the founders of Crystal Cove, the Spanish conquistadors and everything, and how they found the Queen's sarcophagus and stuff like that. That was dope. That was really cool. It was also such a cool sequence of seeing the boat slide down the mountain and stuff. Like that was really cool. I really loved that as a kid. Other than that, yeah, this was a decent episode. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think all out of you be wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.